Hello and welcome to another SmartSafe ADAS calibration video. Today we have a 2023 Mazda Miata RF and we'll be calibrating the rear BSD or blind spot detection radar. We'll be using our iSmartLink 801 display tablet along with our 3-in-1 ADAS radar calibration frame. So let's go ahead and get started. As with all ADAS calibration, it all starts here with the tablet and we need to establish communication between the vehicle and the tablet. This is done via the VCI, which is conveniently located here in the tablet, and we'll go ahead and get this plugged into the vehicle's OBD2 port. With the VCI connected, we'll go ahead and switch the ignition on. Next, we'll go ahead and click on ADAS calibration. So we have communication link between the tablet and the vehicle. Okay, the ignition's already on, so we'll select that. All right, as with all calibrations, we're going to go ahead and run a system scan first. So we'll click on system scan. We'll start scanning. Now the car currently doesn't have any DTCs. Just for demonstration purposes, we will go ahead and move forward as if it did. So we'll go ahead and create our pre-repair report. So we'll hit report. Here you can see the report type is set for pre-repair. So that generates a pre-repair report. We'll hit save, back arrow, and then we'll go ahead and go into the calibration function, choose BSD rear radar calibration, blind spot monitoring, warning that we're going to be making a change to the vehicle. We'll hit OK. And here it's going to ask us which calibration frame we're using, and we're going to be demonstrating using the radar ADAS radar 3-in-1 product, so we'll select that. Say yes. And we'll go ahead and choose the right side, so we'll hit right. And again, it's letting us know to have the ignition on, and we're ready to run through our steps. So we'll go ahead and step outside and get going on that. So we're here at the front of the vehicle to define point A. So we start with taking a plumb bob, find the center point of the vehicle here. This is pretty easy to do with Mazda because you've got the center point right on the emblem there. So we'll go ahead and let that hang here. And then we'll take our cross marker. I'm going to hold this. I have to hold this here because this vehicle has an aluminum hood, so it's either aluminum or fiberglass, so the plumb bob does not stick with the magnet here. All right, so we'll go ahead and get our first point, or point A, positioned. Looks good there. So we'll go ahead now and move to the rear of the vehicle to find our point B. So now we're here at the rear of the vehicle. We're going to go ahead and plot our point B. So I've got our plumb bob here, and I can look at 2 points for this particular vehicle. I've got again, the emblem center, and then I also have the rear camera here. So we'll go ahead and let the plumb bob drop there. We'll go ahead and set our marker. Okay, and once I've got the center point marked, I'm going to go ahead and take our 5-line laser. And we'll turn this on by rotating the black knob here. Gives us our laser. I'm going to position this right over our cross marker. There's a little there's a little laser at the bottom. We'll get that lined up. Next, we'll take our auxiliary mirror here and we'll point the laser towards the front of the vehicle. We can fine-tune it with the white adjustment knobs. And once we get that into place, we'll be shining the laser onto the laser reflector, which is at the front of the vehicle, or our point A. Okay, now that we have our point A and point B defined, we have our center line. As a result, we have our center line. So we'll go ahead and hit the V button on the 5-line laser, and that's going to extend that center line to the rear of the vehicle. So our next step is to go ahead and determine point C, and that's going to be at a distance of 2,000 millimeters from the point of the rear center line. So we'll go ahead and get our tape measure right under the 5-line laser, and we're going to be going 2,000 millimeters back. So I step over here, got my tape measure set up already. Just line that up. And as you can see the laser coming from the 5-line, and that's our center. So we'll go ahead and mark that at 200, or I should say, I'm sorry, 2,000 millimeters. So once that's in place, we'll go ahead and move on to our next step. And that's going to be to move the 5-line laser now to this point. Place that here, line it up. And then we're going to center it again. Look, using our auxiliary mirror, we'll point it back to the front of the vehicle. You can also see the center line or the laser line right on the back of the vehicle here. We'll get that aligned. Okay, we've got our center line here. And we're going to hit the V button again, and then this will give us our perpendicular line so that we can set the target. And that target will be set at 672 millimeters from center. So we'll come over this way. .672 is going to be about 26.5 inches. So we'll look for our center line here and place our target here. So this will be for the right side BSD, and that's what we'll be demonstrating today. So with that, we'll go ahead and move on to our next step. So we'll go ahead and get our calibration frame set up. So I'm going to bring that over here. Now with our 3-in-1, this device can be set up with multiple targets. So for right now, we're using the Doppler. That's what the Mazda calls for. So you would attach the adapter frame to the stand, and then the Doppler will rest on this. The next step is to go ahead and position the stand right on where the target, where I placed the cross marker. And if you look closely here, you'll see that we have cutouts in the base of the stand. So for the LAC 0504, this is where I'm going to place the marker. So we'll bring that over here. We're looking to see where it's at there. Looks good. You can see my laser line on it as well. And then the next step we'll have to do is adjust the height. So we're going to bring this up to 650 millimeters. Now when we're using the Doppler, this will be our marking point here. So I'm going to go ahead and lower this down to 650. And then we'll tighten that up. Let's make sure we're right on there. And we'll go ahead and move on to our next step. So first we'll check and make sure that our stand is level. So we're looking at the bubble indicator here, looks good there. So I'll go ahead and plug in our power source now. We'll get that plugged in. We've got the power switch turned on, and over here in the front you'll see that we have two LEDs. We've got a red for power and we have a green for blinking. I'm going to actually cycle that off again so you can see that. So once I power this unit on, you can see the green light blinking, and when that goes solid, that means the Doppler is spinning at the correct RPMs. So we'll wait for that to sync. All right, so we're good there. So we're ready to do the calibration. So we'll come over here. I'm going to go ahead and stand behind the radar, and I'll hit calibrate. And there we have a successful calibration. So I'll go ahead and hit OK. This is the degree of angle that it's set to, which falls within the plus or minus of 6 degrees, so we say yes. And we have a procedure successful response. We'll hit OK. We'll stop the Doppler generator, and then we'll key off on the vehicle's ignition. From there, we can go ahead and do our ADAS calibration report, so we say OK. And again, we'll always want to run a scan. This will be our post scan, just to make sure that we don't have any DTCs. And here we can see that we're all green, so we'll go ahead and hit report. We'll change our report type from pre-repair to post-repair. We'll add in our pre-repair report along with our diagnostic scan, and then hit OK. And here you can see our pre-repair, post-repair, our successful calibration. So this completes the calibration of the rear BSD, or blind spot detection, for this 2023 Mazda Miata RF. We hope that you found the video helpful, and we look forward to seeing you at the next one. Bye for now.